We're not teaching. We're not teaching. We just have a bow tie on. Live chat. Link. Yours. Oh, Sand Hunter was first. Very impressive. Habits is not first. Oh no. And now everyone who joins into the chat will have to say not first. Hello. I know, less than 100 subs till 1,000. And then I'll reveal the birds. You know, I'll even reveal the chickens outside. You'll get extra birds. I saw that yeah. Used to breed chickens. Or at least my family did. Yeah, they're just 2 now. A real first. So I saw that the game against Tordread, or my game against Tordread, apparently broke on the website, but I downloaded it as soon as it ended, so no worries for me. I'm 31. There's a video of a chicken playing a keyboard. They are smart. Smart's a stretch. Not 31 and a half. Are you 31 and a half? I turned 31 on December 30th. So I'm somewhat new to this being 31. Actually, I should check to see if this game is in the replay library. It isn't. Well, I'll add it. I think it's... Oh, but which one is it? Apparently I downloaded 2 replays on the same day. It should tell me. 74117, okay. Ah! My game verse Tordread. The replay broke on site. Okay. Get it here. There we go. Oh my gosh, that must have made my penguin just flip out. Sorry, guys. Okay, that's up on the replay library on Discord now. I think it's a standard game now for some reason. Is that your last Fog of War tourney game? Where? This one? Yes. Is that in the list or has that already been covered? That's kind of far down there in the list, so in probably like 3 streams we'll be covering this game. But yeah, it got submitted. We all make mistakes, don't worry. You'll give me $5 not to cover it. You know, I was thinking about doing a Patreon, and then I could do like Patreon priority, but I was like, that's not that great. But maybe it's Patreon, and then you get games that you can pay me not to cover. That'd be good. That would be very silly. It's anti-priority. It's always tricky though, because the game, it's like 2 people play the game, so I don't know. For one person, oftentimes it's not a great experience, and the other one likes it. But we've all had really bad games. It's okay. I'm gonna make Tordread yellow comet because I have that power. Really, Tordread should have just chosen yellow comet to save me the clicks. Yeah, it's fine. Groans loudly. Just auction off whether or not a game gets shown. I'll wait like 4 more minutes or 3 more minutes before starting, just so people can show up and they don't miss me talking about the start of the game. I wasn't supposed to play this game, by the way. I had wanted to take the vacation away from Global League, but I didn't set my games to 0 when I had the draw offer up with Starflash. So Tordread managed to snipe me, and I felt so bad about asking for a draw that I didn't do it. But then this game also went on for like 3 months, so it's fine. Ask him to that'd be awful. You got queued into a game with Poland. That's great. That'll be a fun one. I can share your screenshots. I shouldn't do that because it's a tournament game. I don't want people saying stuff. You can say it's fine, but the rules don't. Playing Poland is like playing chess with a bull. Well, it's good to have experiences playing against people with different play styles. You're working on a theory about games. That's cool. Yeah. Oh, maybe I should. I was gonna try playing some chess with Advanced Warrior. I'll have to figure out when to do that. We'll get to see how well my Advanced Warriors by web skills translate into chess. I imagine not very well, but I'm ready to be surprised. Talos, when was the last Global League game you played? I mean, I know you're like drowned in tournament games right now. What's a bishop again? A bishop is a it's one of the top dogs in the church system. They're a religious authority. I think they oversee multiple churches, if I remember correctly. That might depend on the religion and system. Okay. I can start going over the game. 25th of May has been... Dang. It's been a while. Well, I'm stepping out, so if you want to step in, go for it. Okay, so I chose Adder on this map. I didn't... Full disclosure, I really don't like this map, and I never have. I don't like the vision, I don't like the base light, I don't like the triple airport, I don't like how much the fighting happens, like, right here. Anyway. How about no? I need to turn down my own audio there. The music's too loud for me. So anyway, I chose Adder for the better copters and some of the mech play that you can do. So if I can build some mechs to help compensate fighting on the ground, I can build more copters. That's kind of the idea. Jake is also a very good pick on this map because there's really good artillery positions in these forests and like behind this mountain. And there's a lot of plains around the cities as well. So it's definitely a very good Jake map. So we kind of chose what I would say are the best two COs on it now. There used to be Sonya allowed in tier 4. And when she was allowed in tier 4, I would say she was the best. But now I think Adder and Jake are the best. Probably Jake better. Cole has some interesting ideas on this map. But the main problem he runs into is there's only one offensive area that he can really leverage with his power, and that's like this city, or if you're attacking up like this city. So he's kind of forced to be more defensive if he wants to actually utilize his power. You can tell whether or not Cole or Jake or any of those COs that cares about a specific terrain type is going to have to be offensive or defensive on the front based on where those tiles are in accordance to the base. So like these two road tiles are close to this base. So he could attack this offensively, except this is his city. So he's actually going to be attacking it defensively. Or he can use these tiles defensively to try and maintain control of this city. But like this city is not his city. So he gets to use these offensively. What Cole would really like is that the roads are set so he can use them offensively against the HQ, and he can use them offensively against all of the contested cities. But for the contested cities, he mostly just gets to use them defensively. So it's not as great to play Cole. But in theory, he could use them to help, like, control this city and help control his HQ. And I decided not to go super tricky this game. I went kind of tricky last time on this map against Tordread, using Sonya and having the extra vision. If only Shoal Cole, exactly. It's a Grim map. It might be. Grim's probably fine. I think I went with an offensive strategy this time instead of going for anything tricky. I remember correctly. Let's see here. I think I go recon this turn. There we go. And now that I have this offensive recon, I'm just going to be checking what he does with this city to determine what I need to react with. So right now I'm thinking he probably got a recon himself because there's no tank by. But I'm going to let next turn confirm that for me. If there's no tank by here, then it was probably a recon over here. The catch is just going out. So there's been no vehicles bought over here, so I would think there's a recon coming. And then here, this is kind of like the nice thing about having this early recon attack on the side that you have the recon on. I have absolutely no risk for any of these attacks over here because I know exactly whether or not there is a tank, and I'll also know exactly where the tank is and what it can reach. Starflash is also burnt out right now, yeah. Although, I will say that when you're burnt out, playing on an alt is it's not the same. So, I mean, it's definitely possible that Grim Guy is Starflash. Am I Grim Guy? I am not Grim Guy. The only alts I have are for videos. Unless I'm about to release a whole series where I played Grim Guy. That would be quite the reveal, but no. So yeah, you get to use the pre-deployed vision here to check what's actually defending these infantry. This is somewhat risky. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or no, never mind. That's not risky at all. If there's a tank built, it's being covered. And there's the tank. So I could try and attack if I wanted to do a little bit of damage and to slow this down. I would be in a forest, so I probably wouldn't die. I am a hapless victim. I'm going to be releasing a video on a tutorial for moving and capturing and all, just like manipulating the board state. I have a game set up right now that I played against myself that I will show all of those things on. You can check it out on my game page, I guess. I'll probably try recording it tonight. Okay. So I went for the center property really quickly because these often get contested really like right away, as I skipped the city to do it. And as you can see here, Tordread was actually on his way to interrupt this. Or at least in a spot where he could interrupt it. So that works out pretty nicely for me. Did I... Okay, so this was a mistake on my part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. So this just reveals that I did where my infantry is, and there's no real reason for me to do that. If I was to take this turn again, I would go down like this to avoid possible vision. There's no reason to go like that in comparison to like this. Yeah, Grim might be good. Tordread's had a lot of experience on this map, from what I can tell. So I get a tank in response to the recon. It could hit this guy. Or no, I can't see that guy. That's right. Tordread's just using the recon to sit on properties right now. To try and delay. To try and get vision, threaten infantry somewhat safely. And although he knows exactly where the tank is, so he doesn't really have to hide on properties. But it's still generally good. We both have full knowledge of where the opponents or where the other players' forces are. So now I've taken this, I'll go back down towards the comm tower. I don't really want to stick around over here knowing that a tank's incoming. And then I grab this artillery to go up here and lock down all of these cities. This is one of the key spots on the map where this infantry is standing right now. If you put an artillery there, it's really hard to attack because there's a choke point here, there's a mountain in front of it, and there's a forest on the other side, and it covers all of these cities. You cannot see your opponent's art count or value. It's all hidden. It's a secret. Not only can you not see their unit count and unit value, you cannot see their history page for units built. That gets secreted away when you're playing Fog as well. So you can't even track it in such a sneaky way. They thought of it. You cannot see their income either. If there's no sound. You have a replay feature though. Okay. So here I'm like, I'm gonna kill this recon. I was so sad. I was like, that's what I get for not going for the comm tower sooner. This recon survives. I think it actually survived at a semi-healthy amount too. But the nice thing about attacking here is that I'm overloading this tank. So it would like to defend this property and like kill this infantry for attacking, but now it's got a job over here. And this is why Jake is better. This is true. If I was Jake, this would be a dead recon. And it really hurts, especially when you're dealing with recons. I actually thought this was like basically guaranteed, but I was super wrong. But when it would be guaranteed if I had a comm tower. When you're dealing with recons, they can still give just as much vision at 1 hit point as they do at 10. So them living at 1 is really good. Now I've started to get mechs here, so that I can have some defense against this tank while still being able to build vehicles on the other side. The long mech march. So he is going to have a decent march, but at the same time, he's going to be moving into places where he's actually covering stuff. So it's not, and it's fog, so it's good to just have some general coverage in the back in case they like snuck through an attack over here and stuff like that. In standard, it's a lot worse. Recon gets away. Kills my recon with his tank. It's not the worst thing for me though. This recon does live. I do lose my recon, but I'm also denying this city pretty nicely. So it could be a lot worse. Okay, now I have my comm tower. A day late and $1 short. Mech starts moving up. It's guarding this infantry, it's guarding this tank. It's a nice little death, a little death ball. Another thing about the mechs is they're really good with adder because one extra move point on a mech is 50% more movement. Going from 2 to 3 is huge, and it's a 2 to 3 that you can do on command. So you also have some threatening you can do with it. I'm not going to. Oh, I should also say this as it's coming up. I actually get really sick during this game twice, and I take some turns with a fever, which are I had no idea I was so aggressive. But yeah, the nice thing about the mech with Adder is that you can give it a nice movement boost. It's not like Sammy, who gives it like a huge movement boost and a firepower boost. But you still get that extra value, which is really good. So you can see here, we're both kind of, well, I guess I've been mostly going for fighting over the contested cities a lot. I put an attack over here, I didn't attack over here, I didn't attack over here. Torch just really held his ground over here on the city. You see, mindlessly eating is an illness. Yeah, you'll see. Yeah, so usually, and Tordread. So I built an artillery and started using it on like the front lines, and Tordread built an artillery as well, but then used it to break the pipe seam, which is going to put some economic pressure on me. So for joining units, normally you don't want to join units because I mean there's a downside to joining units, and that's that you lose unit count, so you can't use them as blockers or scouters or anything like that. So the times that you want to join units is if you need it to make something like unbreakable as a wall, or if you want to get more money, or if there's some sort of two-hit combo that you need to set up next turn, and that relies on having like a tank that's healthier. But usually you don't want to join units if you can help it. I wanted to put this guy here to stop a tank from coming down and hitting my mech. Although it would have been fine to just let the mech get the first strike, letting a tank get the first strike, because I do have other tanks around to defend it. And being here would be pretty nice because it would be able to threaten to take the city. Pop, pop. Don't get the roll, but that's okay. And now with an artillery in this forest, this city's very, very tough to take because this is kind of a hard artillery to crack. It's in the forest. One of the sides is impossible to reach, and these ones are very easy to stand down. And I'm starting a little fight over here. I'm really trying to stretch Tordread's forces thin. I know that a tank and an artillery have kind of been sent to deal with this pipe seam right now, so I should be able to have some offensive pressure successfully. Yeah, you can reduce Global League damage too by joining as well. Doing a little infantry fight over here. I think it's the first strike against me. And hits me back over here. You can see right now the attacking the contested properties has given me a nice little income lead, because he was slowed down in capturing over here because of the combat, and he wasn't able to get this city, but he's going to be able to make it up by going for these cities earlier. And I made sure to put the recon in a really annoying spot. It won't die to a tank here. And then I think next turn I go here so that the tank blocks. Maybe I went here, which would be a mistake. You'd want to go here because the tank kills you, but then it's blocking the city that the infantry wants to go onto. Okay. Bring up the copter. This is very dangerous to attack, especially early on, into this area. Just like to this area, because the copters have that immediate reinforcement, which we saw right there. And now this is a really scary push. So I think he's going to have to fall back. So I take this time to build a transport copter to go for these little island properties. And this is covered by an artillery, so I figure I will go for this property. If Tordread wants to try and stop it, I get a nice artillery shot. This is a mistake with this mech. I really shouldn't go into... This is a problem I'm making with Adder right here, is I'm relying on the normal power to reach the units that I'm trying to defend with this mech. I should really just move on to this road, because pretty much anything that would want to hit this mech would rather hit one of these vehicles instead. And I don't want to put myself into a situation where I have to use my power to make my unit viable. Okay, yeah, I do go here. And now I'm also breaking through down here. Recon success. Okay. Now, Jake artillery are really good, both because when they're on planes they get extra firepower, but when he uses either of his powers, normal or super, they get +1 range, which is a pretty big deal. So I'm feeling pretty happy at this point. And you can see here, this would be a lot different of a very different situation if I just had my mech right here on this road. Because then I could just kill this, and I'd only be risking a mech without having to use any powers. But instead, I do have to use my power here. And I figured that there's been an anti-air built this turn, because we've kind of just been having tank conflicts, and then my copter just revealed itself. So it should have like one turn to get a free-ish attack like this. But getcha. But I wouldn't actually have to use my power to do everything that I'm doing this turn if I had just put my mech in the better spot. So I kind of forced myself to use a power, which is really not great. I didn't have to use the mech to finish, but I wanted to heal my tanks. And I thought there was an artillery here. I didn't really want it to shoot one of my tanks. I'd rather have it shoot a mech or the infantry. Oh, yeah, you're right. And the bottom infantry couldn't reach. Yeah, I was... That's right, yeah. Another case of setting up for a normal power, but at the same time, I'm also somewhat forcing myself to use a normal power, but it does get me here also faster. There's side benefits to it. And then there's going to be another one that I set up, I think. I could be wrong. Okay, so I'm about to get sick. Tordread has a nice little mixed composition coming in over here. And you can see the properties that are very heavily contested are these ones around the mountains, and then these ones in the middle. So because of you getting to use my normal power, last turn I do get to do this kind of fly-through thing, where I drop off the infantry here and then I go up to pick up an infantry over here to go for this airport. Normally, you kind of like drop off over here, and then you fly back over here, and then you fly over here, and then you go around. So it does get to this airport faster. I do indeed build a recon to spot the recon, yeah. But this also is kind of setting myself up to use a normal power next turn so that I can reach the city. My infantry had to move first. It was on the city, or on the base. And then I build a copter over here because I think there's copters. I know Tordread on this map doesn't like to send the copter straight down. Tordread likes to build the copters and send them around and then hit the middle or this side. But to be safe, I will build a copter over here to try and hold this position. Okay. This is Fever Go7 coming in here. 4 health infantry. I know there's an anti-air there. Copter goes in, and then that's kind of okay, which is... But the problem I'm doing now is... I kill the unit, and then my brain's like, oh, there's nothing to fight over here. Let's just walk away. I need these units covering the copter. Because this is a move I do a lot, where I use a copter to attack in anti-air range, so that the anti-air kills the copter, and then I kill the anti-air. But I just like walk away. It's really bad. It's like I see unit, I kill unit. There's no threats over here anymore. Let's just I'll leave. So yeah, the anti-air will kill the copter there. And it gets really good coverage with this artillery. On the city. Nicely protected. Another anti-air. Tordread is very aware of how copter spammy this map is. So I think this is a mistake on Tordread's part, because this does allow me to get the city, but it also forces my tank to like move further in, I guess. Yeah, I really like trading a copter for an AA. I think that's usually worth it. Alright, here comes the side slip. I still have a fever at this point, so I'm like very aggressive in my mind. This mech horribly placed. My recon gets to kill the recon that gets to send this tank up here. Recon spots everything. I decide to go in anyway. This is going to be a really sad moment here where I don't get this kill. I think I had something planned where if this anti-air dies, this copter comes in and kills this tank, and then I use this tank to hit this artillery and make it somewhat awkward for Tordread to actually reach the copter with this other anti-air. But that's not really a problem for Tordread anymore, as the copter's just kind of up there. I bring the mech over to this forest. Fever from work, Howell, exactly. So the copters are kind of like +1 extra unit count because they're not built from bases. So if I can trade an airport unit for a base unit, I'm usually going to be up a whole unit count. And one whole unit count is worth way more than 1,000 funds. And there's also the fact of my copter. It's very, very easy for me to replace my copters because the airport's right here, where it's a little bit harder to replace with the anti-airs. So if I'm sending tanks and copters over here, as soon as you lose an anti-air, you have to build another anti-air to replace it. But then that means you don't have anything to fight the tanks off with. You just kind of get overwhelmed. Yeah, you get out-tempoed. I did not need to leave this tank so exposed, just sitting on the plains. It's I was just kind of like move units to left. So we're gonna see Tordread's response here. It's gonna be a really good super. Another thing about this that I didn't mention is because of the +2 movement that Tordread's going to get here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm actually attacking into base range to make this attack even worse. And there's planes as well. Tordread gets some really good attacks here. And then starts getting the back islands at the same time, which is good. This is a good development on Tordread's part. For a long time there, Tordread kind of ignored these in his games. But he's finding a moment to go grab them. So now I'm in a spot of trouble. I'm still up economically. Oh my gosh. It's the recon that won't die. The 2 health infantry manages to finish it off, though. This was a pretty big folly on my part, having no anti-air capabilities over here. And now this artillery is kind of exposed. There's a huge army just right on this side. This mech does get another shot. This mech got to shoot 2 tanks, so it's a pretty happy mech. And none of my transport copters free from all this. I can send mechs into it to get them shipped straight to the front lines. At this point, we're both kind of committing to fighting in this general area. Tordread was way more prepared for it than my forces are. Although he is kind of overextending a little bit here. Usually you don't really want to dive in like this, because you could like use a copter to hit a copter, but then that also like gives this anti-air a target that they didn't have before. So you just kind of lose your copter for 7 health on the copter, or you could even just die to the other copter. I did not say that Jake came out of the screen and started talking to me, but I definitely could not concentrate. Apparently when I've got a fever, I'm just very attack things on screen. I don't do the normal strategic stuff. Classic Tordread overextension. Okay. So economically, I'm still doing pretty well. Still managing to get control of these cities. This was a mistake. There's no real reason, I should say. There is a reason to attack from here, and that reason is to check what's in the forest. But I can't really do anything regardless of what's in the forest. So all this does is give his artillery a target, where I could just attack from here and not be within artillery range. So here I'm trying to focus down all the tanks so that there isn't... I'm trying to focus down all the tanks so that when the anti-airs come in to hit my copters, I can kill those with my tanks without getting hit by his tanks. And then on the following turn, the plan would be to kill off the anti-airs. So I give a nice little boost onto the comm tower for defensive positioning, as well as covering some units, and then go back for another mech while being able to produce copters and then an anti-air over here. And here comes a tank. You can see Tordread really doesn't have much over here at this point. He kind of sent everything in this attack. And then here his like anti-air gets this copter. The copter got to kill a tank. But then when you go for an attack like this inside of the airport range, it can of course immediately be replaced by another copter, and tank copter can fairly often kill anti-air. Didn't I risk not even interrupting it though? What, over here? I could have got trapped. Oh, that's true. I was very sure there wasn't anything there, but that is also the case that I was risking that, yeah. My poor mech. This is that one health. That was that one health anti-air that got away. It's healed up twice. It gets to come in for another swing. I was surprised at this attack on this mech, because I have an anti-air right here to kill it, or kill the copter. I think this turn, I thought about using my super to try and save this city, but I knew there was going to be an artillery behind it, and there's just so much stuff. I would have had to. The only thing I have that can really reach that would be this infantry after I get vision of this tile. To just use my super to delay this for like one turn didn't seem super good for me, so I don't do it. I just use a normal power. Go after the anti-air, and the copter, and the anti-air, and the anti-air, like so. So my little plan ended up working out. And then here comes another mech right onto the front lines to guard stuff. I've successfully held this area, but I am going to end up losing this middle property. So Tordread is going to get some sort of economic win out of this. And I was really surprised by this normal power that Tordread goes for here. I mean, I knew it was a danger that he could go for it to shoot this tank, but I thought it really wouldn't be worth it for him to just use it to shoot a tank. That's okay. It does also give him like extra defenses and stuff like that. But usually I wouldn't consider a single tank worth normal power. So he's committed so much over here and he just uses power. So I'm like, aha! This is my moment to take this property and this property from him. And I'm about to get a little too gutsy with my copters again, if I remember correctly, or maybe it's next turn. Yeah, I do. I sacrifice the weakened mech to let this mech get the finishing blow. At this point, I'm back to being, for a very short window of time, I'm back to being a healthy Go7. So I get to do some more fog shenanigans. Vision-wise, he doesn't have any way of seeing this tile. And I know that there's an anti-air here, and anti-airs hit recons fairly decently, so I think he's going to hit me. Either from the shoal or from the plains. Or no, he'll have to hit me from the shoal, because he needs to keep something here, giving him vision of the recon. So he'll just wander into the artillery. And because of all the fighting that's happening over here, and the lack of vision over here, this is a fairly safe move, even though it's just kind of sitting out there on the plains. This is just classic fog moves. And similarly to this situation, I know anti-airs are pretty decent against recon, so I can deal with this guy, and I can deal with any copters that are built. So I'm sending it over here to this for this attack. Poor mech gets hit. Lose that copter, so it's probably not worth diving in to get that tank. The anti-air only going down to 3 is actually really good for me. Because anytime an anti-air lives in exchange, you can see he knocks me down to 5 here, which is really good. I can cap and then join. To threaten to just take the city straight up. But yeah, anytime an anti-air lives, it's really good because they get so much value from repairing due to how high their damage is against both copters and infantry. So here I was very confident that I was going to get this this city, because I knew that his previous turn by was this anti-air as I moved to here and then moved over here into range of my artillery. And those, any vehicle he built here would not be able to reach this city in time, and a copter can't reach the city in time. So I was like, oh, okay. Only the recon can hit me. And we just saw that it did like 5 damage. This is not a good move. So it was... That's also not a good move. So what I'm doing here is I was going for a roll where if I can knock this down to 1 HP, then this infantry can just kill it. I really should have just retreated back and draw his forces closer to me. I have no idea why I go in with this copter. I know it's covered by another copter, but it's not... The copter's not being covered by anything that can deal with anti-air, for instance. I don't know if it's this turn or the next turn, or around here is when I catch COVID, but unlike the first illness, Tordread lets me, not Tordread lets me, but I asked Tordread if I can pause the game, so I don't really have very many sick turns during COVID. You're surprised that Tordrin went for the medium on the opposite side? I think that's because of the attack over here. Copter hiding in the forest. Yeah, you can't see me. And then here I debated for quite a while as to whether or not to go for this roll. I decide not to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I actually could have gone for it though, because I know there isn't a unit. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, okay, well. I know there probably isn't a unit that can hit me, but I didn't think recon against anti-air don't really do much damage. So I just figured it would live. So here he does a normal power, and it's a really good one. I don't think it gets any artillery shots, but you can see it makes his anti-air against anti-air really good, knocking me all the way down to 4. which lets his copter come in and knock me down to 1. He almost gets the clear with anti-air copter against anti-air. And then even more importantly, it gives his recon that extra firepower boost, knocking me down to 3 so I don't get his city. So a very, very good hold by Tordread here. And then it's also going to come into play against this copter, because he gets to use his copter against mine on the plains. And you get that extra firepower boost. Lash wishes. Yeah, that makes the joint cap not worth it at all. It was a very good normal power by Tordrin. And I'm in a spot of trouble. I kind of been throwing away too many copters on this side, and my attack got thwarted, so I don't get this city. I did get this city. I'm still stopping this city, but this one's been lost to me. I know that there's quite a few anti-airs for Tordread. As we can see here, there's 4 on the map currently, 2 of which are at a critical state. So I'm getting a medium tank, because medium tanks one-shot anti-airs, and they also one-shot artillery. And I'm also adder, so the extra move boost helps the medium tanks reach their targets as well. And here I'm setting myself up for I'm very much predicting that I'm going to use a normal power next turn so that the mech can go into this transport copter. Not needed. I didn't need to have this guy here. I definitely could have just gone here to guarantee I can go into the transport copter. I really don't like this play. I don't like how I keep setting myself up to have to use the normal power, but there was another side to this, and that is that if I use my normal power, I can move this guy onto this airport, and then the transport copter can land here to pick this guy up next turn, and then have more units on the field, in which case I would just be using this guy to boost the mech a single tile. Okay, Tordread's going for the city now. For some reason, Tordread did not take this harbor. I guess he used infantry to capture this and then just use the same one to come over here. Yeah. Interesting. It uses less infantry, but it's a lot slower. So I've been making some tactical blunders, but really the economic edge has been somewhat keeping me in the game. I have a huge problem, of course, attacking into Tordread because of how strong the artillery are for him. So I decided to go in and kill one of the artillery. It's really hard to kill off this medium tank. As long as it lives, I can just have it go back and repair and kind of leverage the slight economic advantage that I have. Although at this point, I think we're even in money, but I know that I had an economic advantage. So why all of the mechs on the left side instead of tanks? And that's so I can build these copters. What else am I going to do while I'm sick? I watched One Piece. Is what I did while I was sick. But these games are exhausting. So I was pretty happy with this attack. I don't end up losing anything. The medium tank gets injured, which is not great, but It killed off one of the artillery, which is a big problem for me against him. And it's going to live to tell the tale. This is, I think, a mistake. I thought about it for a while. I basically can either go to this forest, which is a pretty safe tile, or I can go into this city, which is somewhat safe. I decided to go into the forest to not lose the unit. But, I don't know. The problem with going into the forest is that I'm not repairing this turn. And I would really want this guy up to as much health as I can. I thought 7 health was a fine number to be at, but it's actually, it turns out, 8 and above is what the medium tank needs to be at for adder with normal power to one-shot anti-airs / artilleries on road. And we're going to see how big of a problem that is in the future. I build another medium tank because I know he's got a really strong anti-air composition here. He's currently got 5 anti-airs. For good reason. I mean, I've been producing a lot of copters. You just started your game and there's already 7 people watching. You'll get... Oh, following? You'll get used to it. But definitely the first time people start following your games, it can be a little nerve-wracking. I'm not 100% sure what determines whether or not people will follow your games. I imagine it's if it gets brought up on the Discord. Athos, I started my game, there was over 20 people following before it started. I found that very funny. If you're talking about the Quack tournament, that's just how it goes. Voice of Akasha's games must be getting followed a lot, yeah. Oh, I see, I see. Okay. So here I'm just trying to set up for the next turn. Because this was captured by an 8 health infantry, I get another turn to set up to decide how I want to deal with it. So I'm making this this concave so that I can hit from as many sides as I can. Unfortunately, this is the edge of the map, so I'm going to be very limited on a lot of these tiles. Tordread's also moving a bunch of stuff over here. We both kind of decided that we'll have a nice, peaceful stalemate on the right side. And then huge investments on the left side. I decided that this is not a great turn for me to attack. I'd really like to have my super available. That extra move. I see this medium tank, so I'm like, well, I'll just build a bomber. It's probably going to go onto this city. And then I see these this copter. And I'm like, aha! Maybe Tordread will come in and he, with his 9 health copter, really expose it. And just hit this medium tank that's sitting on the road. And the medium tank will take like 2 damage. And then I can just kill the copter. So Tordread comes in here and attacks. He doesn't get the kill on this recon, which makes him look a little, the smallest bit silly that he didn't use the artillery first. Like 1% damage. But a full health copter comes in and hits me. And that knocks me down to 7. Which at the time I was like, that's fine. Also, this is a really good move. Killing off the 1 health copter means I can't sack it into a copter to make it easier to break. And also now there's a full health infantry sitting on a forest that I kind of want to go through. But the forest is also on the edge of the map. So it's really hard to break. Okay, that almost got me my super. But he does indeed move his medium tank onto this thing actually in range for me. But then he builds this the Neo tank was the one build I was worried about, and that's what he goes for. And it's because with Block Rock, it's to reach that extra distance. So in goes the bomber. He'll finish off the medium tank with this copter. And at this point, wait, no. Well, I start planning some stuff out. I decide to send in the copter to get my vision and hit this tank. So at this point, I see a route where I kill off all of these units. Well, I think I hit the artillery down to like 3. But the problem I'm running into is that I need this tile to be used to kill this infantry, so that I can use these 2 tiles to kill this artillery, because my medium tanks are at 7 health, not 8, so they can't one-shot the artillery. So it does have to be a double hit. But in order, and then once I have these 2 tiles free to kill this unit, I can then use these 2 tiles to kill this unit, and then I can hit the artillery. But the problem is, this is the edge of the map. So if I'm not using this tile to kill this copter, I can't use this tile to kill this unit and then hit this anti-air. Which means I have to go this way. I have to kill this unit, kill this unit, kill this unit. So I can then use these tiles to go this way. Go up here and hit this artillery. But this involves 1-hit KOs. I have to use 1 unit to kill this unit, 1 unit to kill this unit. And then I also have to have 1 unit to kill this unit, which is something anti-airs can do. They can one-shot the infantry and they can one-shot the copters. But that's 3 that I have to one-shot. I only have 2 anti-airs. Now it's possible... It's possible to use a copter to one-shot a 9 health copter. It's always a roll, but it's possible. So, and I think this one is slightly more injured, so I'm like, that's somewhat doable. There was another out where I could sacrifice one of these copters into this anti-air, but the problem is, because I have my power up, the anti-air takes too much damage and doesn't actually kill the copter in response. And then there's another thing here with this Neo tank. I was like, well, I don't want to have my medium tank kind of up here and exposed. Because I want to use like medium tank infantry to kill this artillery. And I can have this infantry make it up here and kill it and finish it off. But this medium tank is currently occupying the tile, one of the 2 tiles that could kill this copter. But this copter is like a fairly healthy 9. So I'm like, I can't get the 1 shot with a copter on that. So I have to instead move my medium tank up here and expose it. You'll see. I get some nice mech attacks here. So this gets to live at 1. I'm checking this forest to potentially give this tank a nice target up there, but there's nothing here. So instead it gets used to finish off the copter. Copter mech kills tank. And then we try, and it lives at 1. You can see that's what happens here. Now this infantry has to stand here. It finishes off the copter. Recon can get this kill. Anti can clear that tile. And then I have to use a tank to finish that guy off. And then I can go in and hit a single anti-air. It probably would have been better to hit this anti-air, because this one's kind of forced to hit this copter anyway. This is the one that has more opportunities. And here I'm just trying to block off the attack routes to this bomber. Because unless Tordread built... I think Tordread probably did build a Neo tank, but if he didn't, he's going to have a really hard time killing this medium tank. Or both medium tanks, I should say. He can kill this one, but then this one gets to live using this artillery. And then I make a nice defensive line here. It's attackable, but it looks kind of fearsome, so I don't think Tordread will really go for it. Here comes the Tordread response. A nice sack of that copter there. Starts sending stuff over. He's like, oh my gosh, that's a big attack. And he thinks I'm gonna let I would ever let this city go. No, even when attacking like this, we keep it locked down. There's a very good combo here with that 1 health anti-air sack and then the copter strike. And then in comes that Neo tank. Zoom! Take it out. Take out my mech. Get to hit on the bomber. Not a hit from the planes, so it's kind of okay. And he's like, he's definitely recognizing that I have a strong air presence still. So build more anti-airs. And then this is going to be a mistake I'm going to make a couple times, I think. And that's anti-airs from this base can, of course, hit stuff that's on this mountain. So I go up here to hit this copter. I do a sacrifice here so that this copter can then hit again. I think I miss a roll here. I don't remember. I'm setting this up so that setting all of this up so that this anti-air can take this path and kill this copter. It's definitely not worth it. So I have to sacrifice a copter in order to do it, as you saw right there. I mean, it's kind of a fancy play. But it's kind of just like I sacrificed a copter to kill a copter. It's not the worst value because this is a very easy to replace copter. And then I double base skip for a bomber because I have no way of dealing with this Neo tank right now. More bombers off to die. I mean, this guy's getting decent value. He got used to kill a medium tank. He gets used to hit a tank. This Neo tank is out of my range now. Very sad. Tordread has a pretty good response here. He's kind of like hitting the units on the fringes, which is really good. Because that's, if I want to continue fighting here, it's drawing me closer and closer to his bases, and I don't currently have anything actually taking this city. So here is kind of like a decision point as to whether or not I should keep fighting here. I probably shouldn't. Going after the recon's fine. But then here, like, diving way too deep. I thought maybe Tordread didn't build another anti-air in a row. I'm like, well, I'll just try tagging every anti-air here. And then this bomber is going to be a very imposing force. But Tordread's reinforcements over here are coming in to rescue this side anyway, so... Oh, yeah. I'm like, well, this is a lot of stuff coming over here, so maybe Tordread has had to... Because of it, has had to neglect this side, so I'll start moving in for this attack. You prefer the Neo? Aren't I supposed to be chiding Tordread for fighting so much on the left side with no infantry? No, because he's fighting defensively. He's not trying to... He had infantry. He just lost them when he was attacking. He had infantry when he was attacking into me. But if you're fighting defensively, trying to protect your properties, then... Like, if I had no infantry over here, then this would be absolutely horrendous. But, like, I'm capturing a property behind this. There's, I was surprised at this beatdown. I guess it does give him some nice copter strikes here. And he gets to take out my anti-air. Okay, that was probably worth it then. I was still surprised by it though. I mean, you're gonna see the extra defense he got from that beatdown. Makes this Neo tank surprisingly hard to kill. I had to use the 9 health tank because the 2 health tank did like 1% damage, I think. There's no way to protect this bomber, so it's going to end up dying. But, and I have to fall back over here because I have no way of dealing with the artillery. But he doesn't have a super great way of breaking through all of this to interrupt the mech. While I'm not going to be able, I'm pretty much all bones behind this. So I'm not really going to be able to hold this property if he starts pressing for it. But something I found funny is that with capturing this property, it means I have the property lead by day 30, which is kind of a traditional day limit for tournament games. I didn't send a message to him at all because it'd be kind of weird. But in my head, I also took this turn on the phone in bit. So what happened was I was trying to move this copter down here, but because I was on my phone, it just attacked the pipe seam. Yeah, we both did a good job of moving infantry to where we needed them. Right now, I'm in a lot of trouble because I have no infantry on this side. So yeah, if this was a tournament game, I would win here, which I found personally funny. But this is a Global League game, so there's no such day limit pressure going on. Copter hates pipes. Yeah, it hates pipes. It loves revealing that it's there. So at this point, I was definitely considering resigning, but I wanted to give Tordread the chance to kind of overextend and make a mistake. Like if he hadn't built this this Neo tank, then the medium tank defense would be pretty good. So he is kind of starting to overextend, but he has infantry with it, so it's pretty strong. Because I have to deal with those infantry. So this is the best I could come up with to kill off his units that are furthest forward while also having some protection. Build another bomber. Guess there's a Neo tank. And basically, if Tordread just runs after that, just like retreats, then I can start stabilizing again. But Tordread's not going to let that happen. He's got a pretty good strike force for this composition, and then he goes for the beatdown to get a really good swing on the medium tank and kind of clear a path to hit this artillery. And then over here, there's not really much fighting. It's more just shifting units towards the center to try and get this neutral property finally. So here I get to kill off the Neo tank, which is nice. I have to use my recon to scout this stuff, which isn't great because... And I also have to target down the anti-airs, which leaves up these copters and tanks and everything. So I build a fighter because I know he's going to kill my anti-air with his tanks. So at this point, Tordread has to make like a really big error. Like not seeing this anti-air and then it coming in with like the fighter and killing off of the copters would be something that could happen for me. But Tordread is not messing around at this point. He sees I had the base skip to get this fighter. And I think at this point I do a few attacks and just resign the game. There we go. GG. That was very well played by Tordread. The base skips are hurting. Desperate times call for desperate measures, yeah. Until the very end, I did stop the city. How much stuff died? A lot of stuff. I think I lost a ton of copters and he lost a ton of anti-airs. I lost 17 copters. He lost 10 anti-airs and 10 copters. Or I lost 7. I lost 5. I only lost 3 anti-airs. Wow. Wait, no. Yeah, I killed 10 anti-airs. And 2 Neo tanks. For 2 bombers. It's fairly even for a game this long. It's definitely high funding, yeah. It's a base light with a lot of money in triple airport. Medium tank can deal with a Neo, kind of. Exactly, they can kind of deal. I joined 1 infantry. I don't remember joining that. I used 7 normal powers and 1 super. I think he used 4 normal powers and 2 supers. Yeah. A turn like 13 was real rough. Don't remember the sacrifices on the right-hand side. Oh, that's right. To try and get this city. Ah, that was such a good normal power by Tordread to stop that. I thought for sure I had it. Yep, that was my last league game for a while. I think Tordread played that very well. So we can now move on to player submitted games. This one. It was submitted to me. It was submitted to me in general chat. Oh, Big Brady, I need a break. I've been playing constant league games for over a year. How much to pay to not get it shown? Well, I mean, Rizo offered $5, but I did not accept it. So you gotta up it. Who do you have to blame for submitting that game? Probably your opponent. Yeah, Mr. Not So Cool submits games, so it's probably Mr. Not So Cool. Just take his money and show it anyways. For the record, you quit this game because you hate moving all the units. You just hated it. No worries. I mean, we just saw a game I lost. So it's okay to lose. It is perfectly fine. 99 subscribers for Burb reveal indeed. It was really more of a draw or a long grind. Okay. This is a fun matchup. I personally like playing Sturm in it because I like the recon harassment that Sturm has, and using that to. This seems like a really poorly thought out map. And using that to put the pressure on Sensei's property gains. The reason I'm saying this is looking like a really poorly thought out map is the recon can actually interrupt this base capture, which is never good. Looks like I think only Sturms can though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, yeah. Other COs can only get to here. A Sturm can make it all the way. It's currently under yeah, this isn't the Global League game. Yeah. Just ban recons. MC would never just ban a unit. I still don't know what's up with that. Does that map still have banned recons? Okay, so it looks like standard player isn't gonna like use the tank to try and ward off this recon. It's just gonna join cap this, which I respect. That's a good plan. still has the recon banned. You can also put the black belt below the base. That's what they did on the other map. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, the recon can almost wrap around. Yeah, the tank has nowhere to attack from, really. I agree. So this is definitely the better play. And these early recons do come at a price, because you have to build them instead of building infantry. You can see how much pressure it puts on Sensei. Okay, I don't like that attack with the recon. If it's not going to stop the cap, you should probably just let it go. I can understand hitting it down to 6 and it'll heal up to 8, so you are delaying other caps. Then we go straight for the Sturm medium tank. I'm not quite sure why this recon was sticking around. Ooh, look at that, it's a fancy boost. I'm letting itself get hit there, but that's okay. Okay, the recons have now retreated to the safety of the medium tank, and another medium tank gets built over here. Sturm has pretty good medium tanks for, especially on any map that has forests, because they just get to skate on through. Ooh, I like it. So standard player here is kind of saying, it's fine, I'll take out these recons so that they can stop harassing all of my captures, and I can let you just hit me with this medium tank. It does like 6 damage, so the tank even gets away. But there's also another part to why standard player would want to do that, and that's because it's building charge for Sensei. In fact, it's not even that bad of an idea for these two tanks to actually, 9 captures is better. But you could also, if you really wanted to, you could like double swing into the medium tank. To try and get enough charge for a very fast power. Although I guess there's not quite enough cities yet to make that worth it. Oh, a very fancy trap by Rock Golem there. I like it. Some cities are being captured here, so it's kind of up to standard player as to when the power gets used. It's going to help a lot with this unit count. Ooh, and it's always nice when you get to use Sensei's power and then immediately go for an attack like this. You can see how much pressure this suddenly exerts when you have a nice wave of infantry moving towards capturable cities. You want to take losses for charge, yeah. Why move Lander? I think it's being used as a blocker. It's okay to take it off the HQ. This map with 100% have Sturm banned. Yeah, I imagine so. Screen. Breaking through over here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty nice lander spot. I didn't quite realize how safe it makes the city to stand on. Okay, so the medium tanks are getting some nice hits off on the tanks here. And it's really good to do that when Sensei can't gain charge, to try and slow down the waves of infantry. and we have the indirects coming out for Sturm here. Probably rockets would be a good investment over the artillery at this point, so you could get some more infantry because you're kind of running out, or more recons if you want. And they can just like slide into here in one turn. Have a great spot, or they can slide over here. Or actually, they can almost make it here in one turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So close. So it looks like the one base side is going into medium tank spam. And we've just got artilleries coming out over here. Value-wise, Sturm is doing a very good job. About half a turn ahead. But income-wise, Sensei has started to take hold, which is really good for Sensei, because that's more money, but it's also more cities that you can spawn these infantry from. Ooh, and we have the first Mega Tank coming out, and then we have some Sensei mechs. I don't know about the Sensei mechs. I think probably... Ooh, we have the normal power come out. It does hit 2 Neo Tanks and the Mega Tanks. That's pretty decent. For Sensei, usually you don't want to build that many infantry slash mechs as you kind of enter into this power usage part of the game. You want either some nice heavy vehicles or indirects, so you can use your infantry as walls. I will note that Sensei definitely should have rushed this harbor quicker. Really, both should have rushed this. Both players really should have rushed this harbor, because it leads to both airports and a comm tower. That's huge. Yeah, nothing to take the harbor faster. Gotcha. For the record, the lander does a great job and is heroic. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So yeah, this infantry really betrayed you there. Okay. This is something that, this is where you really like to load up 2 infantry into the black boat. But I guess it's okay, it can drop off, it can pick up an infantry next turn from here. Go for comm tower. Sensei's moving on out. There's lots of infantry aggression over here. The infantry that alone are almost overwhelming this base. Okay. Looks like another turn of trying to get some charge, I guess. I'm not quite feeling this attack. No, not quite. Okay. Well, the artillery are going to start getting some nice value over here. And... whoa. Oh, I see what's happening. I thought for sure that this artillery was going to be the one to shoot the Neo Tank. I think Golem wanted to save the artillery to shoot and interrupt this capture. Oh. Worst case scenario there. He has to use the medium tank to interrupt that. It's not so bad. Sensei is a ridiculous CO. Sensei is definitely pretty strong on such a small map, yeah. Sturm is also pretty small on a map like this. Okay, here comes our first rocket. The rockets should be doing really good jobs for Sturm here. Oh. So many medium tanks. I really like mega tanks as Sturm because one of the like quote unquote downsides of the mega tank usually is that it overkills everything. But for Sturm, that overkill just translates to just kill, since he has that minus 20% attack. And Mega Tank with plus 20% defense is also very, very good. That would have been an insane luck roll. I see what Rock Golem was doing here. So what Rock Golem wanted was for these two to kill this Neo Tank so the Mega Tank could hit this Mega Tank. A bit of a dream, I would say. I'd prefer to just kill this Neo Tank with the medium tank and then have the Mega Tank, and like infantry kills this infantry, Mega Tank kills this Neo Tank. But I think this was technically possible to happen. We're going over here, starting to get these airports online, which is very good. Here comes the pressure. Okay, we've started to have some of the indirects come into play to help support the huge waves of infantry, and it looks like standard player is going to go for a super next turn, which will be a huge wave of mechs. Unfortunately, a lot of these mechs are going to be kind of far away. But that's how it goes sometimes. Boom. Okay, so I guess the attack didn't actually have to happen there. It wasn't being captured next turn, but that's okay. This is a really good hidey hole to heal up in. Indirects are on their way now. Lots of the heavier tanks. Anti-air built, that's good. It's kind of tricky because Sturm is going to do better in a heavy tanks versus heavy tanks battle than Sensei will, but at the same time, these kind of fights with like megas and neos does generate a lot of power charge for Sensei to build, like to get these huge waves of mechs. Which will like, they're not great, as you see here. They're not amazing at fighting the big tanks, but they can still get some chip damage going. And they also just get in the way. Sturm battleship can just steam through those reefs, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Meteor Strike is going to get some nice, very nice value. This might be the kind of situation where you prefer to get the super. Just barely misses out on this kill here. Still good value though. So I will say that for standard player, probably more indirects. It's really tough though against Sturm to try and build like rockets and the like when his units can just move so far. Ooh, the mechs have broken through a little. But once... Oh, here comes a rocket. Once standard player has the airports online... Ooh, there we go. Triple rocket. Once these airports are online, Sensei's going to have a very nice advantage. Copter-wise. And then... the other thing that he's got going for him is... Sturm is pretty much all out of infantry. And it's really hard to find the room to build some more. Although with double airport up, you can probably do it. Oh, the airports aren't being built from. Okay. So at this point, Sturm's just killed a lot of stuff, but Sensei has managed to get a lot more income. 12k up is a lot. You consider the battleship? Battleship would be okay on the defense. I guess you could sail it all the way down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and have it stare at the base. Someone call Reimer yet? There's so many rockets. Okay. Sensei is approaching the unit count, which is a little dangerous. Or unit count limit. Oh. Oh. Rock Golem found a breakthrough. Drilled a hole through the line to tag a rocket there. Wow, no, the lander went down. It was heroically standing in the way. Ooh. Another breakthrough over here. The medium tanks are definitely getting their money's worth. Alright. It looks like standard player is planning to do another mech run. Okay. I didn't even notice that. But yeah, with the mega tank covering this, not worth it to send a mech in, or a medium tank in to do damage to the rocket. That's okay. You win your first round game. Congratulations. Huge mecha slot. Mechs are definitely doing a good job on cleanup duty. And here we go, another wave of mechs. We'll have to join some of these so you can, or I guess it's fine. We only have 5k left. Well, I'd prefer to join some of them to get enough money to build another copter. Because while the mechs have been getting some pretty good... Oh, standard player resigned here. I was going to say, while the mechs have been getting some decent value, at this point, Rock Golem's composition is looking pretty anti-mech. You saw a stalemate. This, I will say, this over here is looking really scary. This attack is also very intimidating, though. This might turn into an HQ race. I think the meteor like targets here, but then if you like go in and attack this, then the meteor will shift over to here. Maybe here. Yeah, here to hit rocket, mega tank, all these mechs. Then you can maybe kill this. I don't think you can stand on the base though. That is quite the very small map for High Fun's Sensei versus Sturm. I think that was a pretty good game, though. Yeah, definitely some big losses were coming in next turn, but not on this front. You might have gone into an HQ rush, a 2 race. Pretty good game, though, I'd say. Okay, next we have Mistwalker versus Super 5125. Whoa! Oh, this is a tournament game. Any advice for the Quack Cup? Have fun. I don't think I'm allowed to give advice on how you should play it. It's definitely a very silly cup, though. Pick Grim. I picked Javier. Isn't it fine as long as it's not specific to his game? Probably. Quack, 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 quack. It's definitely a silly cup. Okay. Speaking of high funds, I do believe this is a high funds game. Yeah. We'll see how the players are deciding to approach this. Looks like Super 5125 is deciding to use the double base pressure, building this tank here, and Mistwalker is deciding the same thing down here. Just tank chaining out. We have a response tank over here to defend the one base and his properties. There's definitely some good CO picks for the Quack Cup. Medium tank response, I like it. Kind of like the immediate tech up response. The only downside to this is that it doesn't cover that infantry, which is probably not a huge deal. It's not like this infantry was really going to get any other captures, so it's okay to let it get tagged and just bring it back to heal. Neo tank, of course, would have been better, but the funds were not lining up for that. Yeah, it just goes back to heal. Medium tank is being nice and imposing. Gonna force some sort of response down here, while also trying to threaten this base and its captures. Looks like this tank from Mistwalker is coming over to interrupt this airport, which is really nice. While this airport's kind of uncontested, but players did go for a copter right away, which I highly agree with. The copters are very nice on a map like this with this giant open lake in the center. And then there's also these island properties, so you'll want to get a transport copter. Both players went copter, and then next turn, or actually, Super 5125 went copter and AA on the same turn, where Mistwalker went copter and then AA. Super 5125 is chaining copters at this point, which is going to give a unit count advantage. Ooh, that's a spicy attack over here from Mistwalker. I'm not sure how this is covered. AA's not covering this, copter's not covering. I think both copters here can just kill this tank and then complete this capture. But the idea might have been to stop the copter from running up here. There's like multiple reasons to do attacks like that that kind of can lure units away. But teched up medium tank in response to a medium tank. It could also just be a mistake. It can be hard to tell sometimes. Okay. Very, very sheltered over here. Mistwalker is a pretty decent composition for actually taking these bases and maybe going for this comm tower. I would say a little too scared, although these units are threatening these cities, which is really good. I don't quite understand what this medium tank's trying to do. I guess it's just trying to threaten some units while not being under threat from this other medium tank. Oh, a Neo tank. Very good. Here, Mistwalker definitely has some bomber plays that can be done, where you use like the battle copters to interrupt these cities, and then you can just shield your airport with either like a tank and an infantry and then build a bomber. And since there's only one anti-air over here, it can't hit the copters because the bomber will just kill it. A true boss is stuck in a grip mirror in round 1 Quack Cup. Before you eat your chicken, make sure it has laid eggs. Okay. Well, as long as it's not, as long as there's no spam going on. Okay. This is something that Mistwalker missed out on, was using the bomber to cover the copters. Which is going to work out very nicely for Super 5125. So we have the bomber over here, which is threatening this anti-air. It's the best map size. I kind of like 20 by 30, I think. I like the Neo tank. Maybe I'd want to have it. Oh, I see. Okay. So right now this infantry has plans of capturing these cities. So it doesn't want to be hit by these ones down here. Ooh. A very nice little play over here. The anti-air can come in and kill this copter, but there's like huge support behind it, so whatever units come in after that and the anti-air itself can be taken out. I like it. This anti-air is playing safe, running away from this bomber. This is a good place for this anti-air too. It's out of range of the tank, but it is in range of the airport. So there's an airport lock going on there. Although it is blockable, you can just get in the way. Okay, this is very interesting here. So this is just kind of how this map is developing because it's mixed base. But this one base over here by Super 5125 is looking really exposed. If like this army and this army went down and up, they could squish it. Kind of what's happening to Mistwalker over here. And they're both Jake, which I just noticed. So their area units are not going to get any movement boosts this game. Just their ground units. Ooh. Mistwalker definitely should have had this 5 health infantry smack this other infantry just to slow down these captures over here, because if there's no other infantry in the area for your opponent, even just injuring that guy will lead to really good economic damage, because it will slow down his initial the initial capture, and it will also slow down all of the subsequent captures. Which is a big deal. It gives you more time to react while also just denying them some money. So we have some really scary attacks coming in here. Super 5125 is definitely threatening the super next turn, so that this medium tank will be able to kill the anti-air that kills off the copter, while also having the bomber that can do it. Ooh. Mistwalker's the first one to get the super though. Busting right on through here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A little mistake here. This tank probably should have been the one to hit here, so that this tank could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 either hit this infantry or hit this tank from the plains. That's okay. But this is a very good attack from Mistwalker. It does look like they'll probably end up just base trading. But getting the first power there and then also getting the immediate base lock from it is very good. DeepMind did beat StarCraft players, that's true. Although, it did somewhat cheat. Because for DeepMind, they limited the number of actions per minute that DeepMind could do, but they didn't. But it like only checked in certain average intervals. It checked like average how many actions have you made. So what it would do is it would just like do a burst of a lot of actions during the micro moments, inhumanly fast. I have a no Mings policy, so I won't be covering anything Mings. Sorry. The AI also got to see the whole map on the screen. It didn't have to move its screen around or anything. But I know there is some interest in an Advanced Wars AI, and that would definitely be very cool. Okay, so this is a good mega tank buy. Usually you buy the mega tank and it's like, I know the base is going to fall, but this mega tank is going to slow the fall down drastically. Because they're really hard to clear. The one thing I would say Mistwalker's missing out on is having infantry already in range to take this base. It's going to take another turn just to walk over there. Even though it's blocked, the immediate threat of losing it isn't quite there. AI is never easy, yeah. I mean, a player could just buy a bunch of TVs. No, you can't do that. You can't expand your screen so that you can move everything on the map in StarCraft. That's not how that works. Okay. That's something you could do in Advanced Wars. You could just make the map smaller here. It's not about making the screen big enough. It's not the physical screen. It's the in-game screen. Ooh, the Mistwalker puts the bomber. Okay, this is pretty nice. It's hard to clear a bomber. Fighter is on its way. And now there's an infantry ready to take this base. So, while Super 5125, while Mistwalker is definitely ahead in the base race category, Super 5125 is so far ahead economically. Well, they don't let you... They have a fixed, like, screen window region. There's the fighters. I just realized that neither comm tower have been captured. Pretty impressive. Okay, now it looks like this base is going to fall next turn. But in a similar situation as to what happened over here, there isn't actually an infantry in range to start capturing it. Ooh, the fighter has moved forward. Did it kill a bomber? It did kill a bomber, okay. Well, with anti-air fighter in response, that'll kind of just be a trade of fighter for bomber, which is slightly beneficial for the fighter player economically. Oh, and there is the... Well, actually, it's hugely beneficial because that bomber was one of the units that was actually threatening to interrupt this... the base capture. Really? A little awkward to build an infantry here. That's okay. The infantry buy here is definitely very sus. You would normally expect another mega. Then you can have like mega and your air force trying to hold this base. Looks like 2 anti-airs got built down here instead. I copped them. I guess Mistwalker doesn't have as much money as Super 5125, so it does kind of... It's really difficult to maintain your army. Well, never mind though. The infantry actually held the base, so you know what? Good on you. You can see the army is very quickly transitioning into very, very air heavy. That's because of this lake. The air units are just so much stronger. And for the first time in the game, Mistwalker has actually managed to get the income lead, which is pretty huge. And then we have another mega tank here to block. Okay. I'm not a huge fan of this bomber attack because of this fighter here. Interesting. Okay. Aww. Bomber, Neotank was enough to finish off the Mega Tank. So Super 512. So they have successfully base traded. Mistwalker has a slight turn advantage, so should have more ground units built because of that. Builds the Neotank way over here. Okay, so what I like about this is Mistwalker kind of has a plan. Like, I'm going to take this base, and then I'm going to move my army down and take this airport. That's my next goal. And this comm tower. I like it. Should have been Adder. Yeah, I think Adder is probably better than Jake on this map. But it's not like Jake's bad. Yeah, Bomber would have killed some planes. I don't know if it could have reached. The birdie screams. Okay, we got the artillery set up to deny this comm tower. You can see kind of the power of having the Air Force here. A very dominating position. And the only thing that can really fight this off would be either another Air Force or a carrier buy, which should be very spicy. It's a little too late for the carrier buy at this point, because the bomber's already in range. But earlier on, a carrier buy to help defend this base could have happened. Now they trade the solo corner bases. Oh, okay. Looks like Mistwalker isn't wanting to commit hard into this. I mean, there are multiple Neotanks and this Air Force waiting to flank, so that's definitely understandable. So we'll see. What concerns me about that is that was like Mistwalker's plan, and I don't see what Mistwalker's new plan would be. Because once you're out of plans, you kind of just default to trying to stall the game out. Okay, I guess the new plan is deny this comm tower. Ooh, attacks into here. Neotank goes in, gets to hit another Neotank. Diving in with these medium tanks. Okay. I thought this plan was over, but I was wrong. I don't think this attack's going to work out, because there's still 2 undamaged Neotanks and there's 2 bombers here, so I think there's going to be a pretty devastating counterattack here from Super 5125. But Mistwalker is also at 50 units, so you kind of do have to attack. Or like start joining units to build more expensive units or something. But the really sad part about this for Mistwalker is that all the infantry kind of stranded here. So they can't get in the way and protect the units. Oof. That's a pretty nasty turn. Yeah, everything got cleaned up, and then there's still these very healthy Neotanks and nothing over here that can even really hurt them. Go after the little guys. It happens. Oh. Deletes this infantry. I don't know why. Wasn't at the 50 unit cap anymore. Okay. Super 5125 did manage to get this comm tower. These Neotanks are just taking lives down here. Ooh, the anti-air was in range to hit the bomber. Okay, this attack is looking unstoppable at this point. This one may be stoppable with the battleship's help. Problem is that this Neotank... Well, I guess you can use the super, and then the Neotank doesn't have to stand on the airport. Stuff. Standing on the airport hurts. Because now you can't build from it. And that leaves a single base to be the only production for this turn on this front. Which is definitely painful. Okay, the transport copter is starting to grab some more cities. Mistwalker actually has had the income advantage for a little while here. Very nice. I don't think these attacks on this battleship is worth it. But to me, it looks like it's just leaving. They're just being left exposed to bombers. The attack down here is still doing some really good damage. This Walker's just running out of units. There's going to be definitely some kills this turn. Oof, battleship has to shoot the capturing infantry. I think probably this bomber should have been hit here first, so you don't have an injured Neotank. I guess the bomber's just retreating, falling back. Oh, it's scared. I see. Scared of this guy. Got our Mega Tank. Mega Tank is a good answer to Neotanks. It one-shots them. Always. Oh, this bomber ran out of fuel. On a big map like this, that's going to happen. Okay. I'd say this battleship's probably paid for itself big time. Another interrupt over here. I thought this game was over when Super 5125 broke through here. The Mistwalker is definitely doing a decent job of just holding the line here. And the battleship value is really good. And it looks like the island city is being denied. Ooh, the T-copter from Super 5125 had to go sit on the base so that the fighter wouldn't sit on the base. Definitely a good play. This is really awkward for this Neotank. Because I think it actually has to fall back further than it did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, that's fine. And with another Neotank, it's fine too. Okay, with the block rock. Does this reach 30 days? Oh, it might. Ooh. Very nice. The Neo-Tank and Anti-Air had to be swapped there for their buys. The battleship got tagged. Very painful. The Jake Super Bomber from the planes does 8 damage. I don't know how Mistwalker's possibly gonna find a way out of this one. This base getting locked down seems rough. The battleship getting tagged. The fighter getting the bomber hit is good. Okay. And then just build a bomber, probably? Yeah. There's no fighter over here, though, so I think the bomber can just fight off. Oh, and there's an opposing fighter. I think this attack is doomed. I do like just tagging this Neo-Tank and leaving it, being like, I'm just not going to build here. It's not that big of a deal. Okay. Lots of Neo-Tank on Neo-Tank violence. But yeah, I think there's... Surprised there wasn't an anti-air built here. The 1 health infantry, no! Wow. Mistwalker's still holding on to this income advantage here. Down quite a few units. Bringing this fighter over is really good. Just out of range of all of these fighters from Super 5125. But it can help save this army against the bomber defense. Going for this harbor. It would be nice to control your opponent's harbor because you can build a carrier and just lock down this airport. And this battleship ended up surviving. I thought it was going to be in a lot of trouble once the bomber tagged it like that. But it's still getting plenty of work done. Okay. The Mega does go down, but there are 2 fighters staring at these 2 bombers. So, it's not a perfectly like clean kill going on there. There's another trade. I mean, there's an anti-air right here. I don't know about that attack. Unless Super 5125 was trying to get charged, which doesn't seem to be the case. That was definitely a mistake. I guess this fighter just doesn't have anything else it wants to do, but I would much rather just use this anti-air from the planes to kill this guy. Okay, got the block rock. Tag the fighter. Finish off the fighter. You got the bombers. It's very scary. Hey, the 1 health Neo-Tank kills the 1 health Neo-Tank. Battleship's almost back up to full health. Bomber gets to kill off that Neo-Tank. Oh, almost all the infantry have been taken out over here. You have a fighter coming up to support. Probably just build another fighter. You can go fighter anti-air, I guess. APC! You gotta love those late game APCs. This game is a banger. There is a 30-day time limit, I do believe, on this tournament map. So once it hits 30 days, the player who has the most properties will win. Which is currently Super 5125. And that's only 6 days away, so... Definitely something to keep an eye out for. More fighters. So many fighters got built this game. Going for another property. Falling back with the T-copter. I'm surprised these guys are still pushing far forward. Or Super 5125 is. With triple anti-air over here to take out these copters. I can only imagine the idea is more to slow down Mistwalker to stop those property captures. But there's definitely... Mistwalker has got 3 in their sights right now. Saddest Neo tank. Sacrifice to do a damage to a tank. I'm not so sure about that. Okay. Is it only a 2 health artillery covering all of this? So yeah, I was gonna say, so you can just build a battleship, much like what Mistwalker's doing up here. And then the other thing is probably what's up with this transport copter. It's the island. Island cities is another avenue for getting captures. So yeah. Ooh. Yeah, there was definitely a mistake that happened down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So this fighter needed to kill this transport copter, and then this anti-air can kill this other one. And then the infantry can start the capture. That might have been a misclick. I'm not sure what happened with that. But now there's only 4 days left. And Super 5125 is up 2 properties. So Mistwalker needs to take at least 2 to tie. Or no, take 2 to win. Take 1 to tie, take 2 to win, is what Mistwalker's situation is right here. So Super 5125 is focusing down the infantry. Which makes sense. Oh my gosh. Very good base block here. All of these units have just gone straight up to the north, which is kind of dangerous. Transport copter could be dropped off over here. And Mistwalker would have just enough time to capture one thing, which would tie. We have a scary join caps going on now. The block rock. Tank goes in for the hit. Fighter hits the bomber. Don't see how Super 5125 can stop this cap from happening down here. What? Oh, this isn't his unit. He can't walk through that transport copter. I see. Nothing killed this transport copter, or I guess could kill the transport copter. That seems really sketchy to me. I think you definitely kill this transport copter, and or is there only like 2 units that can do it? This guy can do it. Just move the APC fighter, come and kill this. I guess you have the problem of this tank, but you could have your 1 health Neo tank stand here. That seems really weird to me, but that's okay. So next turn is the last turn that the capture can start for Mistwalker and possibly complete. Yeah, definitely just kill off all the infantry. Ooh. Oh, all of the regret for dropping the infantry here instead of here is what's happening right there. If the infantry is dropped here, it can go for this property, which this battleship doesn't have covered. Okay. Everything joins together to try and get this capture, because it will tie the game. Yeah, this battleship barely lives at 3, so it can delay the capture for a turn. Oh, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like this might go through, in which case it's a draw game. With Mistwalker just like so close to getting the other capture. This battleship can stop this. Get the beatdown. The fancy beatdown to kill the battleship. Trying to get the cap going there. Or maybe... Is Mistwalker player 1? Oh, maybe Mistwalker has one more turn. I guess I'm about to find out. Yeah, because Mistwalker's player 1, so this is day 29, and after day 30, it's game over. Super 5125 got routed, and apparently routed from deleting their own units. And apparently the replay viewer registers that as a draw. That is quite the game, I gotta say. GG. I shall get my base back, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Super 5125 actually ended up building a lot more units than Mistwalker there. A whole 9. But that was mostly the air, I think. 1 more fighter, 4 more copters, 6 more bombers. Yeah, that'll do that. What a game indeed. GG. Came down to the day limit. It's intense stuff. Just dot. Oops, not comma. Where's PunisherIceman? I think we're both embracing the yeet. Embrace the yeet. Let it control you. West Noth? I think I've heard of West Noth. I play Civilization, Heroes of Might and Magic. I mean, I haven't played them in a while, but I did play them. StarCraft? Warcraft? Specifically Warcraft 2. 2.5 hours into the stream. Yeah, like 2 to 3 more matches. Okay. Another Adder versus Jake game. It's a pretty standard, not standard, I'd say classic matchup. We'll see what kind of opening these guys are going for here. Looks like, ooh, we got a fancy little base skip, or not base skip, city skip happening over here. I like it. This guy can go for this property earlier. This guy can then chain into this airport, and then from here you get to go towards these more contested properties. I like it. Whoa. I don't like the continued city skip though. I'm not seeing the value in the next one skipping. Wait. This one going for this black boat makes sense. I think PunisherIceman probably should have put the black boat here. Pick this guy up. Although going for the harbor is also totally fine. I'm going to do a video soon where I'm talking about what the basically the standard opening for every map is, or I guess the flow chart to find the standard opening. And it looks like PunisherIceman is basically doing the flow chart, and Just.ilom is doing their own opening here. We'll see how well it holds up. Currently not great, because it's ending the turn even on income there. We have a tank and a copter coming out here. I would highly anticipate an early copter, yeah, and there's the anti-air. Okay. Adder has now gotten a little bit of an economic edge there from the city skips allowing for these more contested cities to start being captured. But you have to be really careful with moves like that, because if you detract from your economy going for a very forward city, and then your opponent just shows up, wipes out your unit, and then takes the city from you, then all you really end up doing is hurting your economy. You have to be really careful with that kind of stuff. You usually want to make it just, or only do it when it's like as safe as possible. Really nice artillery placement in the woods here, covering the city capture. A very good maneuver. I like setting this guy back up to heal. He's going to be used mainly to fight other infantry. I like all of these maneuvers. Kind of like dealing with the frontline infantry that are going for the captures, and then also recognizing that your opponent like dove for these, so you can just go take them, because it's not really possible to both be sending your infantry forward to get these early captures and also having a strong enough army to hold them. Gotta go. See ya. Adder in the fog. You don't like Adder in fog? He's definitely not as good as he is in standard. Okay. This is a good attack from Ilom. Finishes off this infantry. That's nice. Oh no. This copter got trapped. It looks like it was trying to hit this one. Or maybe it must have been trying to hit this guy, and the pathing went like that. That really sucks. It's not as bad as it could be, though. If this anti-air could reach that copter, that would just be like a game-ending trap. Really, really nice. Kind of, these are like injured, so a unit has to come forward to deal with them and hit them, and then they're covered by an artillery. I guess these two aren't, but this just general composition is really nice for getting your opponent to like attack into it to do some damage and then just get wiped out in response. If you were to play Fog, you would almost always go for Sonya. So Sonya's not that great in Fog. She is like tier 3, but she's the worst in tier 3. She is definitely a lot better in Fog than she is in Standard. That's pretty much what you can say for her. And she's definitely better than tier 4. Here we can see the artillery value here. Ooh, going for the beatdown to get this artillery involved as well. Is there any other plans with the beatdown? For the interrupt. The capture. Okay, there's some more value that goes on here with the beatdown. That would have been an okay time to like go for a join here. You have your power up for your extra defense. You're threatening this capture. Your opponent really has to hit this infantry. So you could like join it up to 10. Beatdown is a sick power name. Yeah. Oh no. So this would be a pretty good move if the infantry was able to stand on the city. But it looks like at this point, Ilom's getting a little bit desperate trying to hold on. Kind of diving a little deep with these copters. There isn't actually an anti-air over here to punish this though, so it's somewhat worth it. It does get trapped, or I guess caught, which isn't great. 2 tanks could free it if Adder's able to get a power this turn. Hey. But it looks like it's not quite recognizing the danger it's in. Pretty much, I mean, I've been known to sometimes fake it, but usually when you have your copter caught like this, there's going to be an anti-air coming to finish it off. So you can just like free it and then have it go back so it can cover for your other units. I was wondering if there'd be a normal power to get the artillery involved, but no normal power really needed. That's just a pretty clean attack there and builds up more charge for the super. Jake has a really, really good super because it gives them +2 move boost on all of the land vehicles, while also giving extra damage on planes, while also giving extra range for indirects. I'm not quite sure what the logic was behind Jake's super to make it just kind of do 3 things. But Jake players everywhere appreciate it. This is not as great of a capture. The artillery is only guarding it if a power gets used. which, as I was saying in my own game when I was playing as Adder, I'm really not feeling the power-based defense. Really, you lose a lot of flexibility. Okay. So it looks like Adder's like out of infantry, down to 9 versus 15. But has managed to actually maintain an income lead. Just at the cost of a lot of units. Which is almost like Sammy Super Syndrome, where you lose a ton of units to get an income lead, and then you'll lose the game because you're losing more units than you're losing more value in units than you're gaining in your income. Which I apparently now called the Super Sammy Syndrome. Or Sammy Super Syndrome, whichever. That's my name. Yeah. Okay. What? Hey, the recon got the kill. This tank will be able to tag this anti-air, so bringing the copter in is pretty good, and then this tank can tag this anti-air. You have classic comedy. You got classic strategies going on here. Oh no! Well, this is not nearly as good. You really want the full health tank to hit the anti-air. A 7 health anti-air will still just kill this copter. But yeah, the classic strategy is they have like a little bit of mixed composition. They got lots of tanks. They got a few anti-airs. So what you do is you dive in, kill off the anti-airs, and then you have copters to beat the tanks. Classic tactics. Okay, I like the falling, but so much restraint that Iceman here has. Like I'll start taking this city, force you to go for that. I'm not gonna put my guys like in your line of travel. I'll be waiting to ambush you for when you try and interrupt this. I would say PunisherIceman is definitely ahead. But Adder has managed to have this income advantage for quite a while. So we'll see what this Neo tank is able to accomplish. So far, it's just kind of waiting, hiding and waiting. PunisherIceman has evened up the economy right now, while also having a really scary attack down here. Recon, artillery, infantry. Very, very good composition for both holding positions and taking cities from low vehicle count, heavy infantry compositions, like what Adder has here. In which case, there's just a single tank here. And the reason it's so good is because infantry have a hard time breaking through other infantry. So the tank will like never ever be able to make it to this artillery. And if the tank ever tries to hit an infantry, it gets smacked by an artillery. While the artillery itself can shoot infantry all day long and have no problems. PunisherIceman has a Neo tank of their own. It's a very scary attack. We'll see if Adder's able to do something over here, because It's like sometimes it's okay to lose on the side as long as you're able to make up for it on the other side. But right now it looks like Adder's like, okay, this is just not working over here. Time to just do a huge front switch and focus down this attack. Ended up leaving quite a few units up there to die, which is really unfortunate. And it looks like PunisherIceman is on top of the vision game. Sees the units have kind of ran away and is like, well, that means you're attacking me down here. And maybe... Oh, the recon also saw these tanks. Okay. So not just purely game sense, also sees the attack coming. Thanks to the recons. Oof. And then Adder uses a power without any vision. Look at the value on this black boat. Oh, the tanks do manage to wrap around. But that's not the kind of power you like to use. Or, I guess that was a super. Because now all of these units are so exposed. Luckily there's no anti-air in range to start popping these copters. And Iceman's really on top of like push, retreat. I'm not sure if that block rock was really that good, but that's okay. It did do some damage. That's definitely a very bold infantry. Okay, so when it comes to neo-tanks, usually the big... when it comes to neo-tank fights, Jake has a nice advantage with his super. Because attacking another neo-tank on planes with Jake's super is almost a one-shot. But when it comes to bombers, Adder has the advantage usually. Because Jake doesn't get that extra movement. To the desperation, yeah, I would agree. I think Adder definitely had a desperation attack there. Only a little bit behind in the economy. He's been doing a pretty good job in that regard. The one thing I would say for PunisherIceman is sometimes being caught anti-airless, like on an entire front. And that should really not happen unless your anti-airs were actually killed. They shouldn't just be able to just attack you and then you just don't have an anti-air on the front. Okay. A nice... Well, I don't know if I'd call it nice, but we have an attack going in here. The sad news for Adder is that this is a very well defended artillery with this black boat being crucial as a blocker. Very good black boat usage this game. Mega Mind anti-airless. And then the also downside here is that there's two artillery waiting for this. This beatdown's gonna be nice. Although this neo-tank's on a missile platform, so I'm not so sure about shooting that one. It probably would have been worth more to shoot one of these tanks. They're just like on shoals. That's okay. Okay, we have another anti-air coming to replace this one that just got hurt. And now we have an anti-air on this front, which is really good. while also having anti-air on this one. Because that was one of the big things that Adder was actually being able to utilize to make some headway against Iceman. It looks like at this point, Iceman's up 4k, probably getting this city. It's going to be tough to hold on to this as Adder. Ooh, that's usually a really nice pickoff whenever you can get those one shots on those anti-airs. Especially against a player that's kind of been shown to be a little sparse on the anti-air count. So now your copters can get some work done. No air built. Usually when you kill an anti-air like that, you want to build air units in response. Because you've made a weakness. So you want to exploit it. But I can understand the opposite reasoning, meaning I want to build something that's countering what they're building, and I know they're building anti-airs. So instead I'll build like tanks. In this case, though, it was artillery recon. The 6k income deficit at this point is really being felt. If you're having turns like that, artillery recon infantry on day 27 is not what you want to be buying. Okay, very good use of front switch by Adder here. I mean, like, I'm just gonna leave this army alone. If it's not fighting, then even if I have less units, I can take out the smaller detachment that Jake has. Like, if I fight here, I die anyway. Ooh, but it was a little too close to units there. Having your anti-air hit like this, as we were talking about before, is really bad. Although Jake really hasn't been building any air, which is pretty interesting. Mainly relying on just artillery and lots of units to get in the way. Okay. 8k up. So at this point, definitely Adder's only out is these like front switch shenanigans. They can work magic. If you're playing as Jake in this situation where you're up 8k, definitely your next target should be the comm tower. And then once you grab the comm tower, and during that you can also just take all the cities. What you don't want to do is you do not want to rush the HQ. You're like, I'm up 8k, I can just take the HQ. No. That's like the one out that you could give your opponent, is that you're going to overextend as much as possible so your income advantage matters as the least amount. You want to force them to have to defend all these properties, and then if you can, you're going to want to win by capture, because every city you take is making you win more and more and more. And like at this point, PunisherIceman probably just needs like 2 more captures to win. But that's going to be the safest way to try and end the game. In this case, looks like Iceman's like, I'll just jump on this entire army, which is fine when you've been ahead for a really long time. But it does give your opponent a chance to make a comeback, because a lot of the units in this game that counter other units are cheaper than them. Like artillery counter medium tanks even, and like neo tanks, they're way cheaper. And anti-airs counter copters, and they cost less. Copters countering tanks, though, those do cost more. So often, even like a much cheaper army can defeat an expensive army if it's heavy in those counter units. Well, very well played. And that was kind of, which I'll talk about a lot when I actually release the video. But that's kind of the power of doing the standard opening, is it's just always good. And it always makes sure you have units to fight with. And when you're making your own openings, you're just going to compare them to what the standard opening is going to be on the map and see where you're getting like a positive or a negative. Or just demolish your opponent, yeah. Demolishing your opponent is always fun. Xaroo. This is going to be Disobeyed versus Billybones on Vadum of Valhalla. Okay. Couple dice. Yellow comment. Make sure you're facing to the right. Face to the left. Play Hachi versus Sturm. Hachi is just too good. This is a tough map. It's had a lot of attention in the community because there's been some meta development. Looks like Billybones is going for the base skip, and Xaroo is doing what I favor to do as player one, which is to have this be the base you're behind on, so you're ahead on this base instead, which will translate to more aggression over here. Ooh, we have the recon. See, this is Xaroo's after my heart here. This is the build I like to do. You head on this side, get a fast recon, just pressure over here. And then just don't push too far on this side so you don't get punished. And here we have the nice flexibility of the recon opener, and that it can hit the middle or this side. So this mech can kind of come over here and deny stuff, but it's not going to be able to really stop you from hitting over here. Probably should have hit from the planes, although it might not have been reachable. No, it was reachable. Probably should have hit from the planes, take less damage. But it could be that this recon has eyes set on making the full transition to the other side. We have another recon. Nice center tank. The downside to building the mech in response to the recon is it's going to eliminate the whole point of... Oh, no. Never mind. Billybones did not go for the base skip. Went for the base. But if they had gone for the base skip, then building the mech would have hurt them quite a bit. Because as player 2, going for the base skip is to give you like double tank later on, and building the mech is going to stop them. Alright, Recon's getting some nice harassment in. Just going to go over here, stop this guy from going for this comm tower, and now this mech kind of gets put into a somewhat awkward position, because if this guy goes for this city capture, the mech has to sit here on the plains to try and defend it. which would leave the recon open to hit it from the city, which you really don't want. Right, Disobeyed decides to just pull back with the recon. You can, of course, sit there if you don't care about your recon's health. You can sit there and hit again, and then lose the recon. I do prefer just pulling it back. It did some nice damage. Okay. Disobeyed has now gotten this comm tower. This mech is in a little bit of trouble. This recon, I don't think, needs to fall back quite yet. It could very easily go to sit on the city if it wants to get in the way of this infantry. You can also just fall back if you're more wanting the infantry to try and go for the city and just kill it off over there rather than just deny the possible capture. Okay. So we have a mech coming on over here. Mech tank. This tank has shown up over here. We have 2 tanks coming to meet it. So far, what's happened, the recon opener has managed to deny this center property, and it also let Disobeyed get this comm tower because of how much was invested just fighting off the recon. Meant that Billybones was not able to actually stop the comm tower from being captured. Ooh, a nice, fairly fancy little block here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this tank could strike from like the forest. If it strikes from the forest, it just gets hit from this missile platform by this tank, and the mech isn't able to guard it. It could hit from this plains, and then the mech can go here, and then it's guarding this tank against this tank, but then the infantry and other recon are threatening the mech. So you'd have to try and shield it with the other infantry. It's no easy task. Ooh, Billybones, I didn't notice that. Went for a very fast black boat to go for this side comm tower and harbor. So a lot of people get the transport copter over the black boat because it's cheaper, and after this move, the transport copter can be used anywhere on the map, while the black boat is very, very limited to this kind of region. But if you start building mechs, it can definitely be worth it to still have the black boat over here and like dropping them off on this mountain, for instance. And you also do get over here faster with the black boat. But the black boat buy will be a huge tempo loss. I was actually surprised that Xaroo has taken so long to capture this airport. That's pretty rare. Usually players get it almost as fast as they can, because copters are really strong on this map where they can like threaten center and then just fly over these mountains and threaten another side instead. You got little mech chains going on. I'm not sure what's going on, why you would move this 2 health infantry here. But it looks like Disobeyed didn't want to use the full health infantry to slow down this cap. I'm guessing because there's more infantry around, so it's probably not going to get denied. But for this 2 health infantry, I'm not sure exact. I guess it's blocking this 6 health from hitting this 6 health. I think I'd rather have the 2 health infantry go heal up. Although it will heal up to 5. But against Kindle, you can still sacrifice 5 health infantry, unlike cities and stuff. Okay. medium tank out of Kindle here. Just mech chaining over here onto the right. Oh, that's a medium tank in response to a medium tank. Infantry fights in the middle. What? I don't know why you would do that, so... I don't know. This infantry can just... I'm pretty sure just clear this, because it is going to have a comm tower, so it can just step onto the forest and kill this, and then this guy can step here and hit a mech if Billybones really wants to. Instead, just kills the infantry. Okay. Trying to go for this comm tower over here now. While also trying to take this comm tower from Disobeyed. Over here, it looks like it has a lot of units ready to attack, so... maybe a little antsy on Billybones' part, because this medium tank and this copter are turned out from actually being able to help. Huge infantry wars happening in the center. There we go. There we go. The recon gets to kill that. Goes after the tank. That makes sense. Hit that tank. So this mech is going to get some value and hit a tank. But then the recons can just take it out. Or I could hit a recon, I guess. The infantry can take it out. Yeah, I don't like this attack from Billybones. It would be a little bit better if this medium tank was able to, like, threaten to hit this other medium tank with that copter and all that support. But I think it just... it's something I end up doing a lot. It just was a turn off of being perfectly set up. Ooh. Over here, though. Urban Blight. Very nice. The mechs know, yeah. Usually when your opponent goes for a transport play to get this comm tower and harbor, you kind of follow eventually, because, I mean, being a whole comm tower down and the property down hurts a lot. But usually it's just like a transport copter. Looks like Disobeyed does not want to commit those resources. Should do just fine over here. The right side, though, is looking very good for Billybones. That is until... I mean, if Disobeyed gets the super this turn... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is not possible because there's no way to kill this mech. Well, actually, never mind. Could definitely sacrifice a recon or something. Or maybe just hit this tank with this mech. But the missile's gonna land over here and soften up. There we go. Yeah. Soften up this attack considerably, as we saw. And even hit this medium tank and copter tank. Very nice. No sacks needed. Ow. Here comes the anti-air to deal with the copters. Ooh. Ah. Oh, they wouldn't have... Yeah, no, that wouldn't have gotten through. So Kindle did manage to get this city. It looks like you'll also get this comm tower. We'll see for how long, though. Having double comm tower against no comm tower is really good. as I'm sure you don't need me saying. The attack over here is still really, really strong. Disobeyed is kind of running out of infantry on that front, though. So nothing can take this comm tower. For now, they also have a medium tank standing on it, though. Hey, Black Boat's coming back to pick up this infantry is really good. Billybones is still down in income. What's the 3 cities that Billybones is? This city. Oh, and Billybones is missing. Yeah, okay. Billybones is missing cities from the recon harassment. There's still a recon alive, actually. I would probably repair this recon. No reason to let sit at 2. It's gonna be a nice fighting force. Okay, here comes the transport copter. So Disobeyed is going to be able to get a guaranteed comm tower of their own. It does hurt against Kindle to go for it when a power is probably going to be online soon. That will be able to slow down your capture by a turn. And then also the following harbor by turns as well, so Kindle does have something going for herself there. Wait, what just happened there? Somebody went over here. Tack. Oh no! Auto end turn, I imagine? It ends turn there. Which is very good for Billybones. Didn't get any builds and everything is just kind of standing out there. Very, very exposed. Still fine on the left somehow. Disobeyed's back. We've got the lucky lass. It's time to bring out the luck after the end turn like that. The copter do 2 damage. Do another 2 damage. Hey, killed the copter down there. Very nice. Kill the mech. Kill the infantry. Gonna be it's whoa. Straight to stealth. It's gonna be a very expensive repair turn next turn. There's no way Urban Blight is not being used here. It slows down 2 comm towers and it hits a stealth and a medium tank. I don't know why it wasn't used there to kill the copter. It got used at the very, very end. Okay. That's usually you do that for getting as much power charge as you can. I would definitely use it before the anti-air hits that copter to get the kill. Now the nice thing about Rachel is that because you heal more, your units don't have to fight at 9 HP after being hit by an Urban Blight. It does, of course, cost the money to repair them, but it's okay. Even after the skipping of the turn there, Disobeyed is still ahead in income. Although not for long. Rachel hard counters Kindle confirmed. I do think Rachel is better in the matchup. But not hard countered better. Okay. So, we'll see if the stealth even stealths. There's well, it should stealth to try and keep itself safe from the fighter, but maybe not this turn. Ooh, Disobeyed with the breakthrough on this pipe seam. Got the double comm tower. Over here is looking pretty squishy to medium tanks. Because Billybones has a lot of stuff kind of hiding in this corner down here. So there's a nice front switch over the Neo tank. Okay, we got Urban Blight first this time. Let's Billybones get this nice kill. Very nice. This group of units is just begging to get hit by double missile and wiped out. So I would say be very careful for Billybones. Disobeyed still ahead in income somehow. This poor infantry up here been hit by 2 urban blights, so it's gonna take a long time to get 5 turns to get this harbor. Disobeyed's in a little bit of an awkward situation with this, because the only thing that can interrupt this capture is this stealth. But since it's not a stealth, but it's not stealthed, so the fighter doesn't even need like support to spot it. I'm surprised that Disobeyed is moving in on this. What? And then the game ends in a draw? Which I imagine is just a timeout from Billybones. Yeah. Yeah, stealths are still good. Even not stealthed if there's no anti-airs. I mean, it looks stressful. For sure. There isn't anything really strong here to deal with this anti-air. So the fighter has to like move onto the side here to cover this capture. The fight down here looks rough. That was quite the game. And that was with Disobeyed skipping a turn. Which is impressive. We have Blonkers against Rosa Roxie. Yeah, next is boot. Ruler time. That's just because the hotkeys for me switching between my different modes is letters on the keyboard. Wow. I think this is sent in by Rosa Roxie, so I will make Rosa Roxie twice. Could have been sent in by Blonkers. Where's Yellow Comet? There it is. Oh, we know this map. I can't make it numbers. Well, I mean, I could, but I use numbers. I use numbers when I'm doing, like, the damage calculator. We did beat someone by capture, though. Maybe I should just use the numbers. Oh, yeah. Okay. So everyone's favorite mirror is the Von Bolt mirror because you can't kill anything on cities. It's of course a joke. No one likes the Von Bolt mirror. Even though it's a lot better than the Sturm mirror, it feels so much worse. Ooh. Okay, the recon did go through that infantry's vision range, so if Blonkers is watching the replay at this point, should know about it. Looks like they aren't. Well, maybe they are, but they just don't think that their opponent has an infantry range. Oh, never mind. Like I said, the matchup where nothing dies on cities. There's a tank, but if this infantry dies, you lose vision of this area and the tank just can't hit it. Okay, straight tank and straight into battlecopter. Battlecopter's, pretty decent. Its artillery is now in the forest, so probably Blonkers is never going to get this comm tower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Aw. Can't even reveal it and then wrap around for a hit or anything. Whoa. I'm not quite sure why that infantry moved up. I guess it was just checking to see if there was something capturing this. I think the infantry walked away towards that city, so I'd prefer to just keep this guy alive. If nothing else, even if you don't want to heal him up, he can be used for vision or checking forests and stuff later on. Alright, this copter has evaded the eyes of Rosa Roxie. So it'll probably be used to stop this comm tower. It's always a little risky to do that because now the copter is your most forward unit, and a lot of people build anti-airs on turn 7. And if they did build an anti-air on turn 7, it would have moved on turn 8, and this turn it would be able to hit you, while also being covered by an artillery, so that would be really bad. So always really risky. Rosa Roxie did not do the day 7 anti-air though. So this copter will get to interrupt that comm tower for now. You don't think you hate mirror matches? I don't hate... I wouldn't say I hate mirror matches, except when it's just nothing but mirror matches. They definitely have their own sort of flair to them. Wow, the guts. It's a strong call out to be like, not only did you not have an anti-air ready last turn, you don't have one ready this turn. Which is the case, but a little risky, to say the least. If the copter sticks around this turn, then it's definitely way overstayed its welcome, because you should know that if nothing else, the anti-air got built in response to your copter showing up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I don't know why you would ever attack that guy. He's definitely going to be covered by an anti-air no matter what. You like winning a mirror? It feels more like it was a skill thing? Gotcha. You like watching them. You got 2 pages worth of notes. Well, I'm glad I'm helpful there. Ooh. A nice little collection of imagery here. The artillery is a little bit out of position, but it is still covering this city, so you can't really complain too much. Some nice, the recon's coming in, getting some nice vision. I probably personally would just have it kill this 2 health infantry, because that's just going to be something that is going to suck up a hit from a much healthier unit otherwise. But I guess Rosa Roxie really wanted to see like this tile, or probably this tile. Yeah, that makes sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I wanted to see the tile to attack from with this infantry. Gets the recon kill. Very nice. Gets the beat up on the artillery as well. So very good attack by Rosa Roxie here. Didn't end up using that tile. That's okay. And then interrupt the property. Anti-air gets to come in and perform a solid hit there. It is going to get tagged by this tank. But that's okay. As long as it's just 1 tank that hits. Oh no, it's 2 tanks, so it is going to die. Which is unfortunate, but very good for Blonkers. Just a big old brawl in the middle here. Killed 1 tank, but there's still 3 tanks involved. It can be tough to make these kind of calls where it's like, do I want to stay in this fight or do I need to run away? If your opponent is going to have multiple, like more vehicles than you in the fight at the end of your turn, then definitely run away. Oh no, what happened over here? Oh, I see. So this tank goes in to hit this other tank in the woods. This is, I would definitely recommend going to finish off the anti-air instead, because anti-air benefit from repairs so much and can shut down copters even at like 5 HP, 4 HP. They can, more like 5 HP is when they really shut down copters. So like if you leave this at 3, it can just retreat for 1 turn and then be effectively zoning against your copters. And then over here, like this trade's not even that great. It's 7-6, but your opponent has cities to go run to right away. And this is sadly a 9 health infantry, so it's not actually threatening to take the comm tower next turn. I like Sasha. Am I going to review your game? Yeah, I'm going to review every game that was submitted when I was sick. That's the plan. It would be at the end of your turn. At the end of your turn. Okay. Very good play here. Target down the anti-air. Try and give your copter some free reign. And then when you do that, you want your copter to hit. Well, you either want your copter to be used in a 2-hit KO with like copter tank to kill tank, and you hit with the copter first, or you want your copter to hit the furthest back or furthest forward unit for your opponent, so that your copter is as safe as it can be. Because copters not only like beat up tanks, but they can also zone other copters. This is pretty decent. It's a pretty safe area-ish. The brawl is happening over here, so for sure there's a lot of reinforcements coming this way. There might be an anti-air that was built here and have moved over here. So it's not like perfectly safe. But like hitting the 5 health tank would have been safer. Because then you blitz on past it and start building a defensive wall. And if you have a copter chain and your opponent doesn't, you can also put your copter in range of the opponent's copter. And then when they come in and hit you, your other copter comes in and hits them, and then you can finish them off with your weakened copter. Usually works out pretty well for you. And any time that you can move your unit in range of a supposed counter and have it be good will just give you more presence on the map and more options on your turn. Ooh, I like the recon chase down. Get some nice vision. Artillery are another unit that's really good for repairing because they can attack while still on the city. And they also have really high base damage, so every HP they get back can be pretty meaningful. Right? You gotta be careful when you're doing stuff like this. When, in this case, it's kind of just like it's an exposed lone infantry. I'll commit 2 infantry to fight that infantry. But that does leave now 2 infantry exposed and your opponent knows where they are. Ooh, but this Ex Machina could actually... Oh, the Neo Tank. This is huge. Neo Tank and Black Boat. And Tank here. A nice little magnet, making sure that the units right on the front line in the combat do not get hit by that. Because that would have been really, really bad. So that was a really good magnet. The Neo Tank is on the city too, so it's going to heal up to 9, and then on the turn that it can actually act, it'll be back at full health and ready to do Neo Tank stuff. Very well played there. And it was for Blonkers, that was a very good idea. I think I probably would have done the same thing. You see that huge cluster of tanks, and you kind of have to be like, well, there's no way that my super is not going to hit there, right? And then that's always a really scary moment, is when you're like, there's no way my super is not going to hit there. That was a good join. Now this is a full health infantry, so I can complete this capture in 2 turns. There's no way it's not going to hit there, and then it doesn't hit there. It's like, oh no. They have an even stronger force elsewhere. And you can see here, this is why copters are so good against copters, and it's even more brutal because Blonkers had a copter chain here to protect this copter, but this guy got hit by the stun. All of this is actually covered by this Neo Tank. It's gonna end very well for Rosa Roxie, that fight will. Looks like this comm tower is gonna go. Neither comm tower has actually been captured yet. It looks like this one's gonna go to Rosa Roxie. I don't see how Blonkers would be able to stop that. Here comes the Neo Tank, just one-shotting a tank. This is a very scary attacking force. Oh no, Blonkers missed the city for so long. That really shouldn't happen. But sometimes it does because it's like the edge of the map kind of stuff. The artillery, very good. If you're kind of feeling like you're losing, you have to like retreat. Artillery are a really good unit to retreat into. Because no matter where your artillery is, your retreating unit can like stand in front of it, which protects the artillery well as a blocker, and then the artillery is also protecting that unit of its range. So if you have to retreat from an area, especially if you can predict when you need to retreat, you can build indirects to retreat into. And kind of like when you want to predict when you're attacking, you want to build direct units so that you can do that move and attack and chase stuff down. It can be really awkward though if you like predict that you need to retreat and then you build indirect units and then you get like a small advantage and then you can't really push fast enough to take advantage of it or to capitalize on it. So this is really good for Rosa Roxie. Blonkers is really short on units over here and really desperate to stop this other comm tower from being captured. So it has to commit like a tank in range of an artillery and then a copter with no vision support, so it's just going to get sniped by an anti-air. Blonkers just getting caught between a rock and a hard place, effectively. But this is a really good setup by Blonkers, is this double artillery looking at the property, because oftentimes you can feel really safe. Like, I'll set my tank in on the comm tower and hit the anti-air. But double artillery says, ha ha ha, I've got you good. And once you have... So in the mirror, having a single comm tower gives you the 20% firepower boost, which normally is enough to have 2 units of the same type kill another one of the same type on a city for most units. So like 2 tanks can kill a tank on a city 100% of the time at full health. 2 infantry can kill an infantry on the city 100% of full health. But that doesn't work against in the Von Bolt mirror, because Von Bolt also has the plus 10% defense. So you need to have another 10% offense to even have a chance. I'm pretty sure it doesn't guarantee anything, but it gives you the chance to get those 2-hit KOs. Because in the Von Bolt mirror, it's not even that you like have to go for those 30% odds to get the kill, like you normally would in other matchups when you only have 10% firepower. You have a 0% chance. You just cannot kill their unit. Yeah, 140% is guaranteed. If I saw the result of Bonkers Ex Machina, I would be if I saw that, I would not have attacked over here. But you can't. You don't see like this missile indicator coming in like you do on the replay when you're playing the game. You don't see that in the fog. What you have to do is go into replay and log, and it'll tell you the coordinates that your super hit to figure that out. And yeah, I wouldn't attack over here if I saw in the log that my super hit right down here. The logs show on your turn only. You do not see anything on your opponent's turn's logs, but you do see your turn logs. And that will record where your super hit. Ooh, nice breakthrough here. I would definitely be feeling pretty confident as Blonkers with the double artillery against a land attack. But with the air comes in, clears out the defenders, and then the Neo tank can come in and just dominate. Looks like Rosa Roxie is not gonna. Okay, Blonkers just ends up resigning there. I think that's pretty fair. They're very far behind. Rosa Roxie wasn't gonna risk anything trying to go for an HQ cap. Was just gonna try and dominate the map and win by capture probably, which is what I would do. I highly recommend that. Sometimes you go for the HQ caps, but you should always keep in mind that they're risky. But if the opportunity makes itself available, then you do it. Or if you need to win the game, because other ways are just not going to happen. Old. Oh, is it not actually a 0? It's not actually a 0. Why did I put that into the 0? Okay, Old Iron Eyes versus Lonnie 337. which is going to be the last one. It's a max mirror. They're probably sent in by Lonnie. Right. Yeah, we got ourselves some 1v1 Verdun. This is an old map, one of the classic fog maps. You've lost every single max mirror you've ever played. They're definitely very, very tricky. Lots of firepower being thrown around, lots of movement. Oftentimes in fog, it kind of comes down to who can bait the other person to overextend and then just... Oh, this is going for one of the builds I did on stream, I think. Not that I'm the only one that goes for it, but delaying the airport to get more captures going in these further lines. And then, because you kind of just get overwhelmed in the number of infantry you have over here. If you're not going to use the airport right away, you might as well. If you don't know, you can kind of capture properties in any order you want in the long run, so long as you're not doubling up or like cannibalizing your captures, having captures stolen from other infantry, that kind of thing. You're going to end up earning the same amount of money over the long term, because like if you delay this property a turn, it means you're capturing a different property a turn earlier, so it kind of makes up that money loss. It just depends on when do you want the money to be coming in and how far forward you want those infantry to be. Like, you could be really weird and capture outside in. That would like maximize how far forward your infantry would be going and how much like map presence you'd have, and minimize how much money you're making. Usually, for the standard build on any map, it's inside out. You just capture everything closest and then move out and out and out. So you maximize how much immediate money you make so that you can build vehicles and actually fight. I hate this map. So here we have double tank anti-air as an opening, which is looking really good with recon follow-up. And it looks like Lonnie is thinking about trying to stop this comm tower from being captured. Did I check my Combi Cup game? Oh, I have not. I have not heard anything about my Combi Cup game. Okay. So that's pretty interesting. So Lonnie built double tank and kind of sent them up towards this comm tower, but then doesn't use them to interrupt the comm tower. Instead decides to use them to just kill off a tank, which is good. And then cover that with an anti-air, which is also really good. And just let the opponent get the comm tower. That is that's a very valid choice. It really comes down to whether or not you think you can stop the comm tower long term. Because if you just like hit it once and then they join cap it and then they get it anyway on the next turn, it's really not worth it in comparison to like the permanent damage of completely killing a tank. So I would say that I agree with Lonnie's choice here, especially now. Old Iron Eyes is kind of banking on the fact that it's getting hit by the day 7 anti-air, which is not great. But trying to bank on the fact that this is a very fast copter, which is not going to end well for them. Lonnie kind of slow rolled that. Yeah. But there we go. Now that's turned into an exchange of one tank for Lonnie for a copter and a tank for Old Iron Eyes. and only on day 7. So these are like first vehicles we're talking about here. And down here we see that Old Iron Eyes is going for the interrupt of this comm tower, and Lonnie's like, that's fine. You can interrupt it, and I'll just kill all your units that tried to interrupt it, and then I'll just take it. Which is a good strategy. And especially happens a lot in Fog. Okay. Old Iron Eyes has a nice little group of infantry that they're getting some work done over here. A max force. I would have hit this anti-air. Oh, it lives at 1. That's a very surprising max force. So it's a really risky to... I'm okay with the max force, I guess. I probably wouldn't use it. But the really risky part of it is that this anti-air is exposing itself right here while there's a copter in vision, and you just put a tank in range of the copter. So the anti-air has to be safe. It can't be like on the front lines like this. Otherwise, he'll get beat up. Ooh. So I'm not super sold on this from Lonnie. I don't like the copter going in to strike this anti-air. I think the copter should definitely strike a tank. I guess it kind of comes down to how likely was that to kill, I guess. And I don't think it's very likely because Old Iron Eyes has the defense boost and Lonnie doesn't have a comm tower. And now these units are like kind of all over. Or these guys are like definitely overextended, and the anti-air can just run away and heal. Ooh, it just stays to finish off the tank. That's almost like a bluff. That's almost... I mean, killing off the tank is fine. It's almost like a bluff because it's like the kind of thing you would do if you had a full health anti-air behind it. Yeah. I mean, it worked out. So I really like Lonnie's fighting in the center. But it looks like on the sides kind of got beat up quite a bit there. Picking Sasha in high funds isn't a great choice, that's correct. Okay, Old Iron Eyes doing a great job up top. Maybe a little over-eager on the bottom. I mean, Lonnie does have 3 tanks down here and a copter. So I wouldn't really want to slam in like that. But Lonnie has just nothing up top, so even with a somewhat meager force, Old Iron Eyes is just going to take all of these properties. Which is not something that you really like to have happen. And at this point, you probably don't push further as Old Iron Eyes. You just kind of take up defensive positions in the forests and make it really annoying for your opponent to take those cities. Because you're going to have a really nice economic edge as long as you don't lose stuff from just pushing forward into the bases in your port. Okay, Lonnie does get this comm tower. It was denied for a long time, although I think part of that was Lonnie just let it, or just didn't prioritize it. Okay, we got a max force. I think that's to let this medium tank hit this medium tank with the copter support. Probably copter first would make more sense. The copter doesn't even go in. That's a little weird. I guess he was scared of this other copter. But now this copter has like fury to hit this medium tank. Yeah. We got the super from Old Iron Eyes. Oop, medium tank's still alive. Tries to finish it off. At this point, Lonnie has been doing a really good job in the fights, so it's got a sizable lead in value. Don't hit that one. You really, 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 really want to heal up these anti-airs. Don't just send them forward to die like that. I know it was in the way, is why that happened. Okay. So Old Iron Eyes is still up 2k, but since Lonnie's been doing so well in these fights, the amount of losses that Old Iron Eyes has taken is offsetting any income advantage they managed to get. You always have to be really careful about that kind of thing. It's very easy to have happen too, because part of having more income is that you have more cities on the map, which is just more points that you could be fighting over. So sometimes, and I'm very bad at this, sometimes you just have to like let a city go instead of sacrificing far more than the city's worth to try and hold it. Somehow Old Iron Eyes has still managed to keep this entire corner. I think, okay, at this point, Lonnie has to, yeah, with tank following this up is good. Got the max force. There isn't really much. Yeah, it's just a single copter got the strike. So that was pretty well played. Old Iron Eyes did a really good job getting these this corner, just overextended way too much with units just kind of setting them in and hitting something and then dying. And then Lonnie, I think, didn't quite give enough attention to the sides, but was just dominating in those fights. And he was making sure to get those permanent impacts from combat by completely killing a unit, rather than like delaying the comm tower for a turn. I would say that was quite the good game. I even managed to get it done before the 4-hour mark. But I'm gonna call the stream there. I will leave you all with an apple. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, actually. Yeah, I gotta stream on Monday too. Have a good one.